Hey sis, have you ever had a moment to where it's like you realize when something just clicked that the things that you were dealing with or dealing with people or in a certain situation that it just clicked that you know what, this is not even about right now. And then it's like suddenly things that felt like confusing, now it all suddenly makes sense. Now you get it. If that's you, let's talk about it. My name is Melinda. I'm a registered nurse, life coach, and mentor. And on our channel, we focus on faith, healing, and emotional wellness. And if anything in this message touches you, it gives you any type of clarity, please like and subscribe. I'm a newer channel, so I'm trying to grow the channel to find all my YouTube family. Okay? So let's get into the message though. Because, like, the clarity though of when things finally start to click, it doesn't just come from like changing the situation. It comes from you understanding yourself. You start understanding yourself and you get a deeper knowledge of your beliefs and your core system. You start understanding yourself, and then all of a sudden everything clicks and all the pieces of the puzzle start coming together. So let's talk about the why this realization starts to matter, and why things start to, when we start to make it make sense, why all that matters. And it's cause, like, listen, up until this point, it's like you may have thought, when you reacted to things or the way you handle things, you may have been like, up until this point, you may have been like, well, why did I react like this? Or why is this so hard for me? Or you may have even said something like, why can't I just move on? Why am I spinning out of control? You may have been asking yourself that up until this point. But now it's like you're starting to see that it's like a deeper reason that certain things happen, or that this situation happened, or now you're seeing exactly how it's unfolding. Yep. Cause like now what's happening is it's like your mind, it's been working, your mind and your body have been working together this whole time, but you didn't know that. But it has been working together this whole time. And what it's been doing is like responding, protecting, and trying to make sense of everything that you've experienced up until this point. Yeah. Even though when you didn't fully understand it. hmm Let me give you an analogy. If you're new to the channel, I love to do analogies because it kind of make things make sense and bring it into, like, give you a vivid example of what the message I'm trying to get across. So here's an analogy. It's like reading a book, right? When you're reading this book and you're flipping through the pages, or you're listening to an audio book and you're just going along the chapters and, clicking through the book or through the chapters, and then finally you get to the chapter that explains everything that came before. So you have this thick book. Say this book had 1,000 pages, but you finally get to the page that explains everything. You get to page nine. Let's say you get to page 999 out of 1,000. Now you done went through and skimmed through this book or listen, but you get to that last page, and that's a snapshot and a summary that explains everything that came before the 999th page. And so suddenly, like as you were going along listening to this book or reading this book, there's certain things that you were like, I wonder, oh, this is good, but I wonder why. When you get to this page, that's when the confusion and everything starts to clear up, and now you have clarity. You're like, oh, that explains it. Oh, okay. So what this realization brings though is that now, instead of, like, now we're fast forwarding back into life, okay, about life and things that right now what you're dealing with, or what you may have dealt with, that you realize, oh dang, this wasn't about that. So now what the realization brings is that instead of judging yourself and being hard on yourself about everything that happened, how it went down, the decisions that you made. Instead of doing that, now you start like understanding yourself more. You have a deeper understanding of yourself and how you handle things and the scenario and the situation. Now this gives you, since you are enlightened now you have a deeper understanding. And so instead of asking yourself, what's wrong or why did I do this? Now you're telling yourself or you're asking yourself, you know what? What in the world have I been through? I've been through a lot. And now it all makes sense that because I've been through all this, now it makes more sense. Or now I see how this has impacted my decisions. Now it makes sense. And that shift right there, that's a game changer because it could change everything. Because let's talk about this. Like, it can change everything from like anything, like from like all your reactions. It could explain like your triggers, your thought process, any patterns that you have created. Now it's all making sense to you because you're like, oh, I get it now. This is why. Yep. And so it's not like all that stuff came out of nowhere. You had some real experiences and things like that that shaped the way that, your thought process was or shaped the way you made those decisions. And so those experience and moments is what shaped everything, okay? And so now what's happened is that these are things that like your system, your nervous system and stuff, it has learned this over time. It's not something that just happened. You've learned this over time, okay? And so now you're becoming aware of everything and how it affects you and how it has affected you and what has caused you to have these triggers and stuff like that. And so what's happening, let's talk about what happens in your body. So what's happening is now it's like that sense of clarity, and that moment you feel like, aha, I get it. Like all of that, that's now your nervous system trying to just chill and get settled down. Because before it may have been on high alert, up and down, trying to, make sense of everything that's going on, reacting to everything. Now it's like it's being settled and regulated. Yep. And so, because like what happens is like understanding, it brings safety and more security because now you can trust yourself with your decisions. You're like, okay, I know what my triggers are. I know why I got this mad. Okay, I know how to deal with this person because this is what I've been dealing with and this is what has affected me. But now I understand why. So now I'm not going to let that affect me the same way. You see how that works? So understanding though, because when you understand like clearly, it kind of helps you feel more safe. And so now your mind is no longer asking stuff like, why is this happening? Now it's beginning to understand where it actually came from. Yeah. And just also remember too, like healing doesn't just all of a sudden happen, boom, all at once. It starts with like awareness, understanding, having compassion for yourself. Yep. And then you can also remind yourself that, you know what, I didn't know before, but guess what? I do now. My saying is, you're going to learn today. So you learn today. You know what I'm saying? Like now it's like, okay, I understand it. And so that awareness is like what it does is it allows you to like respond differently, like when you're moving forward. You respond differently because now what they say, there's a saying, when you know better you do better. Now you know better, so now you're going to do better and you're going to respond better than you did before. So understand too though, God, he knows the whole story. Remember, he knows the beginning and the end, so he sees the full picture. He sees that full book and all the chapters, the beginning, the end, the middle. He sees everything of your life, all the chapters of your life. And so not just where you are, but everything that led up to where you are. He knows all that chapter in your life, like the beginning, middle, and end. He knows all that. Okay? And so he doesn't meet you with judgment. He's not meeting you with judgment, but guess what? He's meeting you with grace. Yep. And he's walking side by side with you to help you along your journey. And so that grace, when you're given that grace and in that grace, it allows you to have the time to heal from everything that you've been through and how hard you've been on yourself about things that you've been through or about decisions that you may or may not have. He's saying, hey, babe, I have grace. Hey, daughter. Hey, son. I have grace. You know what I'm saying? So in that grace, like I said, there's time to heal. So if you found yourself in that moment where things are starting to make sense, hold on to the fact that, you've been learning and you've been responding to what you know and what you've known. Okay. But now when you know better, you do better. And now you're becoming. Okay. And God is saying, hey, daughter, I seen it. Hey, son, I've seen it. I know what you've been through, the beginning and the end. I see what you're going to go, where you're headed toward the future. I'm giving you grace. My grace is sufficient. Okay? So it now you're becoming aware, and now all that awareness is bringing about a healing and helping you to heal now. And so I hope this message helped you, provide you with some type of clarity, give you some type of uplifting. I hope it gave you the word or the message that you needed for today, because God knows the beginning and the end, and He knows what your tomorrow is going to bring. So just please don't be hard on yourself for decisions that you made. Just like He's giving you grace, have grace with yourself, and just understand too, and just tell yourself, when I know better, I do better. Now I know better. Now I see what's happening. I see what has triggered me. I see why things are, the way they are, or decisions that I made at the time of my thought process. But now I know better. Okay, so if this message helped you in any type of way, gave you some clarity or uplifting, please like and subscribe. Again, my name is Melinda. I'm a life coach, a registered nurse, and a mentor. And on our channel, we focus on faith, healing, and emotional wellness. And I'm trying to grow our channel. So if any part of this message touched you, please like and subscribe. We're trying to grow our family on the YouTube world. Okay, have a blessed day, and as always, I'm wishing you peace, love, joy, and happiness. Bye.